Hi there. So this is Bethany Nelson from Living at 100%. I've had a few ideas running around in my brain and I want to share them. The first one was a story I related to my husband last night, or example, or parable, or I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, and he says, yes, you need to make that into a video and you need to share that. So that's the first idea that I will share with you. Excuse me. So here it goes. What if, as a child, you, through your own interpretations, through what people have taught you, through the world around you, through your experiences, you defined a Lego as a red Lego? And the only thing, because of your definition, the only Legos that you identified as being a Lego had to be red. If it wasn't red, it wasn't a Lego, because that was how you understood it. Well, what if somebody pointed to a bin completely filled with Legos and said, will you please go find me a Lego? Well, you would go to the bin, and maybe in this particular bin, there's not very many red Legos. And so you would dig and dig and dig and dig, and then meanwhile being completely surrounded, even immersed in Legos. You would have Legos everywhere around you. But because of your definition of what a Lego was, you wouldn't identify it. You wouldn't even know that that's what it was, that you had them all around you and you'd be completely unaware. Well, if you can't draw the parallels, this is actually what I'm talking about. What if, as a child, you came up with your definition of love? That's what love was to you. It looked like a red Lego. And as you went through life, the only way you recognized love was in a very specific way. And anything beyond that didn't feel like love. And so you could possibly be going through this entire life's experience and be very surrounded by love on almost every turn and not know it, because to you, you're looking for a red Lego. That's all you understand. And that doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make anyone a bad person. We only go with what we have. That's the understanding that we have. We see red Legos. And if it's not a red Lego, then it can't possibly be a Lego, because that's what we understand. And so if someone is trying to love you in a language that you don't speak, that you don't recognize as a red Lego, if somebody's trying to give you a blue Lego or a green Lego, and it's not a Lego to you, then maybe you don't recognize it. So it's almost like somebody's speaking to you in another language, and you lose so much of the meaning. It doesn't make any sense to you. You don't understand that language. But has anyone ever tried to communicate with someone who doesn't speak your same language? You don't speak the same language. And trust me, that involves two-year-olds. That can involve children too. Often children can speak a different language than we do. But, when you try to communicate with someone who speaks a different language, there's so many communication gaps and you get so many things wrong, and things don't flow clearly, and maybe it's next to impossible to even understand what they're trying to say. But I would guess if you're really trying to communicate with someone and you speak different languages, that you can find ways to communicate even just a little bit. You can find bridges. You can point to things. You can pull on emotions. Face expressions say a lot. So what if it was that way with love? What if we took the time to try to understand, even though it's a different language, we tried to understand? And I found with love, one of the really, really big things is intention. Excuse me. I was raised in such a way that birthdays were a really big deal. Big deal. And my parents, especially my mother, would go out of her way to make whoever's birthday it was, make them feel like royalty. And it wasn't about tons of presents, but it was about it being your day and kind of getting first pick at what you wanted. Like, we would get to choose the entire menu of food that day, and it would kind of just be all about us. It was really nice. Well, I grew up and I wasn't in my mom's home anymore, and nobody treated me like my mom did on my birthday. And it was a big adjustment. And it took a while before. So my mom's love to me was the red Lego. That's what I saw. You know, my mom that's how you treated someone on their birthday, was the way my mom treated me. So to compare with other people who were trying to love me on my birthday, but it didn't look like a red Lego. It didn't look like my definition of love. And it would be hard to miss. And I would get to the end of my birthday and I would just feel really downtrodden and like unloved kind of, and like no one had cared, and just all these sorts of negative stories that would play in my head. When in actuality, there was people everywhere who were trying to help me feel good on my birthday, that were definitely loving me on my birthday, but they weren't doing it in the way that my mom had done. And so I missed it for a really long time. I missed it. And now birthdays and holidays have become not about what I receive, but the intent towards what is being given. And it has changed a lot. I can see through the languages, and I can see the intention, and I can see the love. Even though it's not necessarily what I want, I can see the love that was given. I can see the language in which the gift was spoken with. Even if it's just a simple words of happy birthday, the fact that somebody took the time to do that. There's just so many ways to see it and different ways to look at it. So love is everywhere. And I would bet that every single person who would watch this video, who would get linked to this in any way, that you are surrounded by love. That there is an entire bin of Legos that you have immersed yourself in, that has surrounded you, and maybe all you're seeing is the lack of red Legos. Maybe somebody doesn't speak your language. They're not you, but they're still trying to love you in the way that they know. So I make this video and I share this story because I felt that way, and I felt that way recently. And I've had to reevaluate. And it's been liberating, and it's been freeing, and it's really helping me grow to see the love that's everywhere, even though it doesn't always come the way I want or in the language that I understand. Hopefully you've got something from this. Maybe those you love the most, maybe have a conversation with them. Talk to them about the things that have mattered the most to them. Maybe talk to them about the things they would like most for their next birthday or Christmas, and find out the way that they like to receive love. And talk to someone about the way you like to receive love. Have conversations. Learn how to speak each other's language. And be patient and kind. So thank you for your time. This is Bethany Nelson, living at 100%.